This mutation is called Battle Hardened, and it is being played on Chain of Ascension. We have 3 mutators active. We have Hardened Will, we have Inspiration, and we have Missile Command. Now, by far the most difficult mutator to deal with here is the Missile Command mutator. You're gonna have missiles coming to your base, and right now it's not really very impactful, but as soon as you start getting the missiles with the point defense drones, or they are called point defense missiles in this case, these are missiles like the cluster missiles and the nukes, that is when the mission starts becoming a little bit more difficult, because you will need to be able to take those nukes out if you, with static defense, if you're not going to be using your army. And in order to take those nukes out, you will need to use a hit scan attack unit or structure. So if you want to know more about hit scan and projectile attacks, there is a video on Starcraft.com's YouTube channel. And if you go to the FAQs page, there is a short summary on that. But basically what you're looking for is a unit or a structure that deals its damage instantly, and that is what a hit scan is. So in this case for Karax, for example, a Kaidaran monolith is a hit scan structure. And those will be able to bypass the point defense missiles. If you have a projectile attack, for example like Nova's and missile turrets, those things will be shot down by the point defense missiles. So you either overwhelm the point defense missiles by making them run out of energy by firing a lot of shots, or you find a way of hitting the nuke instantly before it gets to your base. The other option that you have is to try and end this mission before the nukes start spawning, which is I think at 20 minutes. I can't remember exactly. You can check out the Mutators page on Starcraft.com for the timings. But that is one thing you can also do, is try and finish the mission as quickly as possible, and you can kind of avoid nukes. Unfortunately, you will still need static defense, because these things are slowly eating away at your base. And right now, you know, you only have 4 missiles on the screen, but eventually the number of missiles that start spawning increase, and you will get overwhelmed, and you will lose your base. Karax's repair beam is not going to be enough to save you. You can see over here Nova is already playing hyper aggressively and going to go ahead and clear her expansion. When the orbital strike comes down to just clean up that immortal, just helps out Nova to make sure she doesn't lose those marines, because those marines are very, very expensive. And you don't want to lose them unnecessarily. The probe is almost aggroing those adepts, and it decides to change its mind and doesn't really want to poke around. It's a little bit difficult for Karax to go ahead and clear, but very, very nice shots there. And that is Karax completely clearing out that side. The Green Marines even pick off that 2-1 missile over there. Karax is waiting to start, and there's... Okay, so Karax is going for an aggressive cannon push here. So you can see what does Karax have? He has the points of the repair beam. Karax is a lower level player, but he is going for the structure HP mastery, so he is going for an aggressive push. It is going to be a little bit difficult to get these pushes done without Nova's help, though. Karax's cannon pushing is very, very tricky, especially without the mastery points, but also you end up losing a lot of structures unnecessarily, because A1's units will focus fire down your extra stuff. Very nice sabotage drone comes down there. I think it has essentially wiped out that entire base there. Yeah, so that was one sabotage drone, instantly clearing up this entire base there. And now we have some static defenses on Karax. And yeah, Nova sniping away on the enemy defenders in that camp. Karax's Chrono Wave is up, but I think Karax might be waiting for his Nexus to come up before he starts using that, because he wants to fully saturate his base beforehand. And Nova just cleaning up this side now. On here, Nova has already taken their expansion, both refineries are up, and production-wise, yeah, both players are going for pretty much standard builds here. Considering that Karax is going for a structure-based composition, but Nova will want to actually put down some of these missile turrets to stop her structures from taking damage, because eventually Karax is going to start getting overwhelmed, and the repairs are not going to be enough. Now the good thing here for Nova is that Karax is a shield-based commander, so until his structures take hull damage, his repair beam is only going to be healing Nova's structures here. And as you can see, it's a decent heal, but you can see the missile counts now are starting to rise, and that is where the problem will happen, especially if Karax is going to start tower pushing as well. Nova jumps in, blinks in, and I think she wants to lure these units in. Unfortunately, they drew aggro of the hybrid, so these hybrids are going to be a little bit more tanky. And now these hybrids do not have any more units nearby, so Nova's going to be cleaning up these units here, which is good. So put the mini-map back in. That is one of the flaws of the overlay, but there we go. So Nova's ready, and I think she's ready to push into this next side now. Karax's scans are doing reasonably well. Karax still no chrono wave though on Karax's Nexus. I think Karax needs to use that chrono wave now to just instantly max it. And these are the point defense missiles I was talking about. It's these guys here that that will actually shoot down any projectile hits. And yeah, there we go. So there's the chrono wave now, and it does actually end up bouncing back once the missile with his accompanying dies. You can see how quickly Karax has saturated his expansion. So his expansion comes up, chrono wave comes down, and he has a maxed out expansion right now, fully saturated expansion. There's a big line of probes that's making their way there. So this is one of the advantages of using chrono wave. If you can time your expansion a little bit so that your chrono wave comes up as soon as your expansion comes up, you can get a lot of good value. You can fully saturate that expansion very, very quickly. And for Karax, that is really important because his units are very gas heavy. If you're going for a unit-centric build for Karax, having the expansion out as early as possible is very, very beneficial for him. So you can see a bunch of railgun turrets have come down from the Raven, and Nova wants to deal with the stack wave. Unfortunately, there is also the harassment over there, but very, very nice mag mines come up on these siege tanks, ends up taking out a lot of these. But this is a Robo Reaver composition, and this composition is very, very nasty. And unfortunately, also, this is the second attack wave of the mission. So this attack wave is disproportionately stronger and scarier than the attack waves you would normally be facing in other missions at this time. But Nova handles that really, really well. Very nice use of mag mines there to just wipe out a lot of units. And now we have a lot of Marines there for Nova, and she will be cleaning up the side. And now she's ready to go. Over here we have one probe, and now the SCV will start pushing up, pushing in Janara as well. Unfortunately, that probe decides to go ahead and build a Kaidaran monolith, which is okay, but they need to push Janara forward because now the missiles are starting to really, really rise. And yeah. The other thing to also note is that because these missiles are considered Amon's units, they will push Janara back, like even just a little bit, but they will actually move her back. And the other thing to also note is that Hardened will also be triggered with hybrids when there are missiles near them. So that is one of the other tricky things about missile command is you'll see here, this missile is actually like stopping Janara from being pushed forward. So now we have another bunch of adepts here, but these adepts should get cleaned up. It's a very small attack wave, but a large number of orbital strikes come down, instantly wipes out that harass wave. And then Nova's on this side. Pure Fire Beam can be used on here now to just get a little bit more value. Defensive drone comes down as well, just quite oh no, that's not a defensive drone. It's a healing drone. No, that's a defensive drone. There we go. So Nova is just slowly poking into the space. I think the Pure Fire Beam might be useful to have over here, unless Karax is saving it for the hybrid super pusher spawn. But we'll see what the plan is here. We have a bunch of shield batteries and a bunch of cannons. Notice how the shield batteries are placed in front of the cannons here. What this does is, some people might think that the shield batteries will get focus fired down, but actually these cannons are, because the cannons are on the back line, Amon's units are going to try and take out the cannons, and sometimes if you're up against melee units, they have to run around the shield batteries to deal with the cannons, and that gives you extra damage time. So that is very good positioning and very good layout of the static defenses here for Karax. The only thing that Karax can do a little bit is maybe put down one Kaidaran at the back and put down an Energizer here in the front, and that will increase the damage output for his static defense line. And well, yeah, but more or less that is pretty much good positioning there. Have a few adepts here, and see how they're focusing down this cannon. They are not going to be targeting the shield battery. The shield battery is not a high aggro priority target for Amon. He will always try and okay, there we go. There's the Kaidaran I was talking about. And there's an extra line of cannons here. So that is actually really good now. This is pretty much like perfect layout for Karax's structures here. You can see how strong they are. They are actually they can hold against attack waves as well. But do know that when you do choose to use these if you do choose to use these abilities, you have to make sure that you are sorry, if you do choose to use this kind of layout, you have to back them up with your cooldowns. I see a lot of Karax players putting these things and assuming that these things are going to hold against anything. And you know, when you're dealing with Reavers and Immortals, it is not very fair to assume that your structures are going to be able to hold, because these are high damage output armies you're up against. So you have to use your cooldowns to make sure that you don't end up losing too many structures. You'll lose a few, and it's just inevitable that you'll lose a few, but you have to use your cooldowns to deal with the attack waves as well. These structures are there just for the cleanup and to deal with high HP targets, and, you know, just to slow down the attack waves as well. You can see here that Nova is basically spawn camping now this attack wave. As soon as the Hybrid Super Pusher spawns, there will be a lot of carnage over here, and that will end up cleaning up this attack wave. And now we have the first nuke that has spawned. So 15 minutes is the first nuke time, 15 minutes and 30 seconds, and that is when the first nuke spawn is coming up. And the nuke appears to be targeting one of Karax's structures, but I think Nova will be getting in position there. Nice orbital strikes onto that nuke. That cleans up this nuke instantly, and that nuke has been taken care of. But now the commanders will have to push a little bit to make sure that you can see here what I'm talking about. These point defense missiles. These things are shooting down a lot of these cannon projectiles. But if you can overwhelm them, which is what's happening over here as well. You can see a small attack over here. Again, very nice use of the orbital strikes. See how he's using the orbital strikes to back up his cannon line. He's not completely cleaning up the attack waves, but he's weakening the attack waves enough so that he doesn't end up losing the structures. And that's how you should be cannon pushing as Karax. So see here now he's putting down another line and making sure he's just playing as efficiently as possible. That nuke appears to have been taken out as well, I believe, for the most part. Yeah, I think. Yeah. So that is very, very good Karax play. This is basically how you should be playing Karax. So we'll go watch, see how he's laying this all out. And there we go. So attack wave spawns, instantly gets wiped. Unfortunately, the hybrids do not get wiped by the mag mines because there were some scouts in the attack wave. And those scouts prevented the hybrids from taking too much damage, but that was the job done. That was the use of the mag mines. The mag mines were there just to spawn camp that attack wave and clear out pretty much all the ground units, and that's basically what it did. If you were playing a regular mission where you do not have Inspiration and Hardened Will, the mission becomes even easier when you spawn camp with these mag mines, because they basically one-shot every single ground unit that is there, including the hybrids, because mag mine damage output is just absolutely insane. So Nova is starting to poke into here. There is a nuke that is coming up from the top, but the commanders are not going to be dealing with it just yet. I think Karax, once he gets vision, will be dealing with that. Airstrike comes down just to weaken some of the units over here and take out these High Templars. There are some High Templars in the Protoss composition over here, and they like to storm you like that, which is also problematic, but there we go. I think Karax sniped that nuke instantly. Karax is on the ball here, just taking out these nukes, so Nova doesn't have to deal with it. And Nova is now, I think, going to move forward to just try and put down some more mag mines to just deal with the spawn as soon as that comes up. And now they are pushing forward as well with both these here. And we have another, I think there's going to be another defensive line here. I think Karax is paying attention to try and take out this nuke. There we go. So that nuke has been cleaned up, and I think that'll probably be the last or the second last nuke in this mission if the commanders push forward. They don't seem to be pushing in just yet, but yeah, I think there's just like there's a few trickle units here that are just kind of harassing Karax, but Karax doesn't really care at the moment. They just need to push. This will trigger the hybrid spawn right now. Hybrids will come up, and you can see here that there's nothing left of the ground forces, and that is where that is why this is so important. Just cleaning up whatever's left of the ground forces is very critical. So hybrids are left over now. The hybrids will get cleaned up, and nothing is pushing Janara back, and they are free to complete the mission. So I think Karax had used his Solar Lance here to clean up the that other side, and both the commanders are going to be pushing forward. I don't think they are interested in going for the Slain Elemental. They could actually do it. They have a full lockdown on the mission. It's not really important for them to like, they can actually extend the mission right now because they are so in control of this mission. I think that is what Nova's plan is. I think, yeah, so Nova's gonna go ahead and get the Slain Elemental. Now, as of this patch, the Slain Elemental is bugged on this mission. If you complete the mission when the Slain Elemental is still around on the map, you will still get the bonus objective experience. So it is bugged as of this patch. So if you do want to, not deal with Slain Elemental, you can, and you will still get the bonus objective experience as long as the Slain Elemental has not despawned, as long as the bonus timer has not expired. Nova's having a little bit of trouble getting this one. There's a Purifier Beam now that comes up. A little bit of an overkill, but again, no use for the Purifier Beam. All the enemy bases have been cleared. There are no more Hybrid Super Pusher spawns that will be coming up, so more or less good to go. So Nova does drop a few Marauders just to help push Janara forward. I don't know why that SCV was not sent instead, but yeah, that is more or less really great play on both these players' parts. And that is the mission done. Janara has been saved and she has not been booped into the pit. Instead, she boops Amon's champion in, and that is GG.